All right, we're back. We're good. It looks like. Let me just double check. So today we're doing the. All right, cool. We got excellent conditions. Good. I never am gonna leave you guys without saying bye and all that stuff. So like, I was trying to answer questions and I lagged out. So that's just the case with the live stream. I lagged out. I'm back in it. I'm ready to answer questions. The I dropped down the resolution so that I wouldn't lag just while talking to you guys about what's going on in the charts. So I just got a question. Where's Bitcoin's price going? Nobody knows, obviously, but if we go to the 21 EMA, which we can, yeah, we got it right here. So a lot of people in the space, like before I lagged out, they were saying essentially right here, you look right here, the 21 EMA, and then basically just debriefing you on like the scenario, like what's going on with the 21 EMA. It's a moving average, so expect when exactly we're gonna hit this EMA. That all comes factored into how fast Bitcoin's price is gonna drop. Again, we've been looking at Market Cipher. It's not looking good on Market Cipher. This looks like a long squeeze to me. So, like I said, I do think that we're coming down to this 21 EMA possibly. That could be a potential target, and really, when it comes to your buying power, you just look at the probability of this coming down to this level. So, for me personally, probably like a 35 to 40% that we hit this area. I'm not gonna put that much buying power in, but like if I had to say off the top of my head, probably like a 30 to 40% probability that we hit this area and head higher. There's just so many different moving averages. Another moving average we can look at is the EMA 50. So again, if you're having a hard time seeing that, it was at around 22K is where we would most likely hit the 21 EMA. Because it's a moving average. So even though where it's at right now, it's going to get factored in based off of where it's moving. Um, so then we go to the daily chart. Daily chart, go right here. Um, 50 EMA is pretty important. A lot of people like the 50 EMA. So we're going to go to 50 EMA right here. So 50 EMA, like I said, it is possible we hit this area and find support, but most likely just based off of the bearish nature of what's going on right now, like just looking at market cipher, looking at all my indicators, it looks like we're going to continue to go down lower. I mean, maybe we'll get some bullish closes possibly to start negating that idea. But right now, the sentiment is definitely we're going to hit this line. As soon as we hit this line, as soon as we create a lower low in the short term, we are just going to nail this area. And as soon as we nail this area, this is where we really start to wick. And I personally wouldn't put a limit order here, or if I was to put a limit order here at the 27,850 dollar area, and then buffer it into like 28,000 just because it's a moving average, it's going to move up. So that's an idea. I wouldn't put like I'd put like honestly, if somebody was like, no, I really recommend you put money like you put a limit order there, I would put like 0.5% like honestly of my buying power right there if I was inclined to do so. That's just not part of my strategy that I'm working on right now. Like I think that you would get a way better cost base average and way better entry price than that 50 day. So and then obviously we have the 200, but I'm pretty sure that's too low. Should be, yeah, that's too low to factor in. Like we're most likely not going to hit 16K. Extremely unlikely is my exact words. And if we do, because anything's possible. And like if there's an argument for that, it's just like, listen, like nobody knows if we're gonna hit 16K. It's extremely unlikely, but nobody knows right now. We don't have enough information printed on the charts. We gotta take this thing level by level. So areas that we're looking for is essentially around 22,000, 22, 21, high 21, 22, that's where a lot of these moving averages are. What we can do is we can pull up the EMA ribbon. We can get the Ichimoku cloud. These are great indicators, go on the higher time frames, look at support resistance. But, earlier, like I said, and I'm just kind of going off of what I showed you guys earlier, 22,000 to um, 26,000, 22,000 uh 22,000K, so 22,000 to 26.6 is what I'm looking at as far as um like where exactly. And I get that that's a large gap, and literally like my strategy right now based off of the market sentiment that I'm looking at is I'm going to be putting in, around 26,000. I'm going to start, basically, that's basically the measured move for that double top or head and shoulders. So basically, I'm just going to be cost base averaging in. Put a little bit in at 26 6, put a little bit in at 26, put a little bit in at 20 25. Look at the moving averages like right here. You got the Ichimochi cloud at 24,255. Look for these like support areas, look for these moving averages, look for these Fibonacci retracements. That's where I didn't just make up the number 22,000 to 26,6. I looked at all the different moving averages, and I have it in my notes, but I lost my little pen. I have one of those phones where you have like the notepad thing. Maybe it's in my notes that I have saved. I'm gonna look that up. But while I'm looking that up, um, I'll put on some more indicators. So another good one is going to be the EMA ribbon. EMA ribbon. All right, we could do the MA ribbon too. That's fine. MA ribbon. All right, that's not it. MA ribbon. Yeah. Okay. So that pulls up a lot of support areas when we're talking about support. Okay, so we're taking that off. Where's the EMA ribbon? So we're gonna take this. Okay, there we go. No, we don't want the MA. So we'll take that off. I'm gonna hide this. And then I don't know why I didn't pull up the EMA ribbon. These are also support levels. It's on the daily, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of relevance in the areas that we're at right now, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not sure where these moving averages are, but you got the 21, the 50. I don't know what I don't know about the 89. I don't know who's playing there. But simple moving averages 50, 100, 20, 200, those are all decent. But let's get that EMA pulled up while I'm looking for those price targets I drew out earlier. And like I said, I'm coming at you guys with a game plan. I'm not just going to give you guys targets and not give you guys specific like hard information to walk away with. Is the EMA ribbon, is that... Is that above us is what it looks like? Yeah. So I guess you have a support possibly, right? Oh, this is the MA. So I don't know. Oh, it's the MA ribbon. We want the EMA ribbon. I guess this is the EMA ribbon. It's just labeled weird. Alright. Potential support again at this line. The only thing I think about right here is that, around this $28,000 range, you have, the 50 on the daily, and you have this EMA right here, this move, or not this EMA, this MA right here. So like usually when two or more support lines are stacked up, there could be potential, but I just don't think this area is it. Like I said, once we break this lower low and we just continue this downtrend, I mean, just according to Market Cipher, I think we're moving like, like maybe looking into this, which is kind of like what we're saying, like as low as possibly, but really we're looking more into that $22,000 range, but as low as possibly according to like these Ichimochi clouds. But again, this is on the daily, so it's just gonna depend. 21,418 would be the bottom. This is where the most support would be. This would be like the last support on this Ichimochi cloud. Let me pull up those notes and let me go to a little bit of a lower time frame so that you guys can see what we're working with on Market Cipher, and I'll pull that back up. And I guess I can pull up the super trend because that's fine. But I think super trend with Market Cipher would be interesting, especially if you know how to read this. But like if you don't know how to, super trend's really easy to read. It'll just tell you buy or sell. But remember, it's all time frame oriented. So on one time frame, it's going to be a buy. On another time frame, it's going to be a sell. The larger the time frame, the more precedence it has over the situation. So according to the 1 hour, is a sell on super trend. Um, yeah, this is all looking good on Market Cipher. This is just on the 1 hour though, and like I said, Market Cipher is really just responding to this consolidation that we're having. Don't get tripped out. Don't get it twisted. We had the exact same thing right here. We had this nice fat, white, which is good. We had our dot, and then we had the drop. We had a little bit of fat right here. We closed out into that nice blue. We had this nice curvature. We had the green dot. We had the lower price. So like kind of like the fractal idea, like we have this white. We have the green dot. Don't get tripped out. This is on the 1 hour. We want to see significant. You know, like you just kind of look at this fractal idea, and like it's just gonna do this when it consolidates onto the lower time frames. Like really, if you're looking for a reversal, we're gonna start at least on the 4 hour. We're not gonna start from a major correction like this. Really, we're just consolidating. So I know it's starting to look good. It's starting to look promising, but this is just an idea. Okay, I'm gonna get my notes out, and then we will go over those other areas that I was talking about. But yeah, you got the pen. I don't know where I put that pen. Probably. I'll be right back while you guys look at that. But basically, oh, well, I guess I can put it on a lower time frame. So essentially, like the 15. So you guys can really see what's developing with the cycle. That's essentially showing a top right there, nothing confirmed, but not looking entirely good. Price action could continue, and then, we're just kind of stagnant on the price momentum. Alright, I got the pen, we're good. So let's pull this puppy up. So what you do is, alright. So these are the areas we're looking at. Hopefully you can see this, but essentially right now I basically crossed out a lot of different areas, just basically talking about it earlier, but essentially we're looking at like 23,000, we're looking at 22,000, we're looking at 24, we're looking at 25, and really to get an idea of those areas, what we can do is we can pull up VPR support. That's what I would recommend doing. Like if we're, it's like, okay, well, we're talking about like around the $25,000 area, but where in the $25,000 area are we potentially looking to find support? So what we would do, besides just looking at a specific moving average and all that, and basically I just found these numbers based off of, and really the main ones that we're looking at right now are like 26, 23, 22. So if 26.6 breaks, we're looking essentially to like 24, 23 area. 23, 24 breaks, we're looking to like 22. All right, let's get that VPR, right? How do you, it's VRPR, something like that. I got all my indicators deleted, so I'm trying to re-find, it should be this. Right. What do you call it? Do I have it right here? No. And Market Cipher A's not been on. Let's turn on Market Cipher A, see if we can decipher anything. You see what I did there? Alright. Doesn't look like it's giving us anything. And I've been looking at this for a while, and yeah, and it's weird though because this is on the lower time frames. But it's not giving us anything. Just a downtrend right here. But let's go to these, like the hourly. the 4 hourly, kind of see what's up with Market Cipher A. Market Cipher A is so easy to read. Whale manipulation. So that's that long squeeze I'm talking about in this fractal right here. It's like, oh, you get the doji right here. Oh, we're good, we're good. Nah, market whale manipulation tank. Oh, we're consolidating, we're all good. No, market whale manipulation tank. I'm telling you guys, read the fractals. This is a long squeeze right here. Don't get it twisted. Like I get it, we're looking good on the 1 hour. That's good. But like bring out the relevance. When in doubt, zoom out. But like, uh, you know, get some perspective. And our perspective right now is we're in a downtrend. The trend is your friend until it ends, and it is definitely far from over. So let me make sure my stream's health is doing good. I didn't try and close out the stream last time. Like it literally. All right, good, excellent streaming conditions. Just tell me if there's anything going wrong with the stream, whether it's audio, whether it's whatever. I'm very new to streaming. I'm obviously you can tell I'm probably not new to Bitcoin because I'm not, but I'm very new to streaming on YouTube, and so just let me know if there's any issues. I'll fix them immediately. And if I ever ignore anything you're saying, I'm not ignoring it. I don't know how to put your comments like on my screen or whatever to where I can see them. All I see is what you see on my screen is what I see. Okay, so like if you're commenting or something and you're thinking I'm ignoring you, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just going over the price action and I don't know that you have a comment there. But I occasionally will stop what I'm doing and check the comments. Um, so yeah, we're consolidating. I mean, that might not be popular opinion, but that's just when in doubt, zoom out. We're consolidating. This is a long squeeze right here, most likely. Like this is looking good, but like again, guys, remember the fractal. It always looks good. Like look how good that looks. You have this ginormous, clip, but at the end of the day, I mean, we're looking decent on the 1 hour, but when in doubt, zoom out. Let's go to the 4 hour. This is what people are going to trade on is the 4 hour. If the 4 hour starts to look better than what it was earlier, then we can, really what we want to do is we want to get something from like the 4 to the 12 hour. We want to get green dot. We want maybe two green dots, not a red one like that. We really want to find this bottom. And this is just not it right now. See, like what I've been telling you, what I've been saying, and like it's still this right here. You have the low and then the lower low. That's not it. See? So we don't want to enter in right there. And then, it's the same idea right here. You got your anchor and your trigger and they're waves and they're not looking good. So essentially what we want to do is we want to see this curvature. We want to see this curvature, but as soon as we see this curvature, this is going to actuate these. So right now this is in play. And we got that right there, this is bullish right here. And we got that. But as soon as we start heading, so once we start correcting this wave, we're going to see continued downside. That's what Cypher's telling me on the 4 hours. So super trend got pulled up. All right, and then obviously super trend is saying sell. Super trend's pretty decently accurate, but like we just know, like technical analysis is saying we're in a downtrend. And we got measured moves that we're looking for. Like everything's saying we are going down, low, lower low, but we're waiting for this break. Once this break happens, bye bye, we're going down. So we're looking for besides, I already told you guys. I told you guys 23, 22, 20, 24, 24, 5 or 24,455 area, 26,627. Like those are targets. Like we got that. But we can have our limit order target. So basically, let me draw this out for you in case you weren't here earlier. Let me draw this out for you. Let me draw you guys out the game plan, what we're working with. I'm not your financial advisor. I don't have those college credits, financial advisory credits. They don't mean much, but I don't have them. So, um, according to the law, they mean a lot. So, I don't have them. So, let me get this drawn. So, I'm just a Bitcoin enthusiast and I'm giving you my opinion. That is all that I'm doing right now. So, essentially, we got 22. Jeez. All right, 22K. So that's like one of our targets. We got 23K. That's one of our targets. I know if I turn down the brightness, that helps the camera see. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm turning down the brightness though. All right, so 22, 23, those are targets. 24, 4, 5, those are target. 26, 6, 2. All right. So these are essentially targets that we have. You can look at other channels, you can figure out other targets, but essentially what we're looking at is basically, what kind of risk are you willing to take? Like, are you really trying to get into Bitcoin? Like are you really are you really looking at Bitcoin and you're like, I'm not really, if I can get a really good entry on Bitcoin, then like if I can get like an extremely good entry on Bitcoin, I know it's tanking a little bit, then I'll buy Bitcoin. You're probably going to be looking at putting most of your money in at 22. If you're like, this dip, I've seen dips before in the past, and I think it's just gonna wick right back up. Maybe you're looking at getting in at 26, as long as you're just buying in and you're not leveraging. Because when you're leveraging, this is what Market Cypher's up here for. We're looking, as far as leveraging on this channel, we're looking to enter in from a position of power. We're looking to not just like, be like, oh, it's dumping, throw a dart at the dartboard and then take out a long position. We don't do that on this channel. We're getting the bottom. We don't have it yet. We know we don't have it yet. So essentially, these are just cost-based averaging. I'm more swing trade, so I'm just cost-based averaging a small position, and as we look for the bottom, right now I have 5% in, which of my buying power, so I've essentially 95% on the sidelines. And so, like, essentially, like, if I was to break this down for you exactly, like, this is obviously going to be tailored to you. And really, what you're looking at is, where do you think it's going to go? Where do you think it's going to go? Because if you think that, it's going to hit the 21 EMA and you want to put your chips there, then maybe your cost based averaging in, uh, maybe 4%. No, we'll do some Freemasonry. 3%, 3%, 3%, and then that's 9. That's a Freemason number. All right. So maybe you put 3% of your buying power in at 26,600. Maybe you put in 3% of your buying power in at 24,445. You know, uh, maybe you put in 23 into 23,000. Maybe you put in 3%. So you have like 10% of your buying power, cost based average in at decent areas, but maybe you're really looking for that 21 EMA, which is going to hit around 22K, and maybe that's where you put the bulk of your position in at like 45. So you have 45% of your position. You can play around with these numbers, is what I'm saying. Or, maybe you're like buying and you're like, I just don't want to miss this dip and I don't care if I'm sweating a few, percentages trying to get in on this dip. And maybe, you're just patient and you put in like 20% at 26,620. Maybe you put in 20% at 24,000. So I'm giving you guys targets, and basically what I want you guys to do is come up with your own strategy. This is what I used to do in the stock market, and I was making good money in. I mean, I can pull up my trades. I don't know if you guys ask me, I'll pull up my trades. I have my. I don't have anything open in the stock market right now. I'm in crypto because that's where the money's at. But I have an M1 account that I used to buy, like American Airlines. I made crazy money on. I made crazy money on Sprout stock. I used to do this strategy where I cost base average in. I'm like, okay, well, and really what you want to look at if you're cost base averaging in on the strategy is, like I was saying earlier, If you think it's going to go to like, 26 whatever, don't get in at 26 whatever. Get an entry price in at 26 whatever. Have it wick back up like we're seeing a short squeeze right here or a long squeeze right here. Don't have it wick back up to 27. Think that you missed the boat. It's going back up. You FOMO, and that's really the FOMO aspect right there. You FOMO in and you add to your position at 26 or at 27K, and then basically you're raising your average entry position, and you don't want to do that, because then once the market dips and that long squeeze ends up playing out, then you're gonna get a you're gonna get a higher entry price, and if you're longing it, you're basically gonna get, you're gonna lose money essentially. You're not gonna get as big of an ROI, maybe in the long run, but just if we're talking about liquidation, if we're talking about limit stops, stuff like that, just you know stick to your gut. Don't get emotional. Look at the price targets. I'm giving you guys the price targets: 22,000 to 26,600, maybe 27,000, so like 22 to 27. Really look at what you're gonna go off of. We got like the 21 EMA, we got the 50 EMA, we got Fibonacci retracement. I haven't pulled up Fibonacci retracement in a second, so I'll pull it up, and we'll get looking at that. But these are the kind of things you want to look at for support. Where's Bitcoin going? Where are we going to find support? EMA, these moving averages, Fibonacci retracement, previous support flipped resistance. We can get into that in a second. I'm not a Forex trader. I don't have no disrespect for the Forex traders. Like, you can make money doing it, like, but that's just not me. I'm not really a trader. To like, I'm like, I've made money trading, and I've been there and I've done that. It's so stressful. When I was in stocks, I got so, I guess you could say, lucky, and I made a lot of money in stock options, but like the amount you sweat in that crap, like, it's just, forget about it. For me at least, I'm not interested in that. I mean, but you can make stupid money, but you can also. I had a friend that was losing stupid money doing call options that he knew nothing about. Like, if you're doing call options, you better know. If you're doing call options on the stock market, you better know. You better not be like, oh, well, it's probably gonna. No, you're gonna get wrecked. So, I mean, I've been there, done that. It's stressful. I'm not really a Forex guy. Okay, so like, essentially we're looking at like a 20,888 or 20,867 as one of our fib levels, major fib levels. I did a reverse Fibonacci retracement, because essentially, obviously the market is not bullish, it's bearish, and so this would be one of our targets to the downside as potential support, where people are going to be taking profits. And I did that on more of the macro time frames, because, like, let's just not play around here. Let's not get, this fib to this fib. Let's not get this fib to this fib. Like, let's just give you the macro so you guys get the best opportunities to be valid. Like, yeah, let's not play around. All right. So 4 hour, we just got a green candle, or a green signal right here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So let me just break down this indicator with you. Keep your head on straight, and walk you through what we're looking at right here. So we did just get this green candle right here on the 4 hour. We do not have, though, a confirmation of this candle. So Market Cipher is a technical indicator. It's a massive amount of modified technical indicators built all into one, and when those indicators line up bullish, then you get this green flash right here. Just like, if you're doing the technical analyst work, you're not going to get a confirmation until you get the candlestick closes. So while we do have the indicators right now flipping bullish, it's like, do you want to get in right now and be very risky? And possibly, you could hit the bottom, possibly, unlikely. Like, Unlikely, but it is possible that this is the bottom. Extremely unlikely from all the indications that we've looked at. I'm telling you guys, they're playing games. They're long squeezing you. Don't play their games. I'm telling you, like we see the, like, look at this right here. Look at this right here. We had this right here, and then is game over. Right here, we had this green one right here on the 4 hour, and then it's game over. I'm telling you, don't play their games. All right. So what we're looking at right here is we want to see a candle close on the 4 hour to confirm this green dot. We also, and what we didn't see right here, to basically negate like this kind of like fractal idea, more so just the idea of fractals in general, just how the market, is cyclical, and so we want to see more. We want to see more dark blue. We want to see more dark blue come in, and what we didn't see is that dark blue. We saw this white, and basically it's like this is basically saying could be a bottom, could be a bottom, could be a bottom. We don't want to see that. This is showing that we're starting to bottom out, this blue, and we don't have that yet. So don't jump the gun. It's looking decent on the 4 hour right now. It's looking decent. I'm not saying enter along. I'm really not. Don't interpret it in any such way. I mean, if you want to be risky, do whatever you want, but I'm telling you right now that like this fractal could easily play out. Like this idea where, we hit this, we get a small in the blue, and then we just flip back to white and we get a red candlestick or a red dot, like, and then, we're going to have this all over again. And you're going to get that long squeeze. They're playing games with you. We're flipping a little bit. We're headed in the right direction. On the 4 hour, we're headed in the right direction. We got that blue. I like that a lot. This is what you want to see right here. This is good right here. But don't play. Don't play. Don't play. Don't go on 10x leverage on this one move. We're on the 4 hour, guys. This is where traders start to trade. This is where people are looking at, okay, well, there's some ideas here. Let's see what we're looking at. And right now, this is just an idea inside of an idea. So we haven't even really got the idea of a long position. Right now we're just starting the idea of, oh, there could potentially, not yet, be a long position. So we're going to wait for this candlestick to close. We're going to see more blue before we really start to look into this idea. Okay. I just got to tell you how it is. I don't want to see you guys get wrecked. I really, 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 really don't. Because, like, if you're new to crypto, like, you can get wrecked. And I don't want you guys, you come in here, you can make life-changing money. Like, you don't even know if you haven't been in this space. But you can lose, like, and like I said with the whole Warren Buffett thing, it's like, ask me questions if you have any questions. We're going to go back to the 1 hour and really start looking at these ideas. But, like, if you're making, if you were like me and you were longing for the past, like 3 4 months, and you just made a bunch of money, you don't want to lose all of it. You don't want to give it all back to the market. You can make 100,000, and that's awesome. But if you put that 100,000 back into the market, and you long at something risky like that, you're just gonna give it all back to the market, and that's not what you want to do because losses compound. I don't know how many of you guys sticked around earlier, so I'm just gonna say it again. Like that's what Warren Buffett talks about. Again, I'm not like the biggest Warren Buffett guy, like I promise you, but it's facts. Your wins compound and your losses compound. If you make $100 today trading, and then you make $100 tomorrow trading, now you got $200 to trade with, and then you can make more money. Your wins compound, your losses compound. If you lose $100, you have to go make that $100 back, and then you just think about all the money that you would have made with that extra $100 into your next trade. Like wins and losses compound, especially if you get liquidated. Make sure you can come back and play tomorrow is what they say, but like it's no joke. We're not going to tell you any crap on this channel. We're not going to tell you go long right now and do a Hail Mary. We're not playing. We don't play like that. Investing is not gambling. If you want to gamble, you're obviously not on the right channel because we're really going over the fundamentals. We're really breaking down what's going on these charts. And right now, market cipher is really the only thing that we can look at to get a clear indication of the bottom. We already know the consolidation pattern. We already have all the consolidation right over here. And then I'll look at my trading groups and see if I can pull any ideas from what they're saying. Because some of them are really good at using fib. They'll use different types of fib, so they won't just use Fibonacci retracement, trend-based Fibonacci. They'll use all sorts of fibs, and it's really impressive. Some of the work they do over there. So yeah, essentially we're out of this consolidation pattern. And then what I can do is, what I haven't done for this channel yet, is I can draw the, I would have to turn off these. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm going to draw out the measured move for this consolidation pattern. I haven't done that. I've been more focused on the head and shoulders. I don't know what other channels have done, but this is playing out, and we do essentially have two consolidation triangles right here. And so that we do have two measured moves, and basically one would be more of a conservative, one would be more of a, you can keep your position open and take profits if it gets there kind of situation. At least that's what I would do. At least that's what I would do. Do whatever you want to do, but like I said, like, if you're making money, you're making money. Take it. you know. I was talking to somebody and they were saying, like, I make a lot of money in this market, but I end up giving it back. And, that's everybody's life story in crypto. Like, you gotta learn to take profits. You gotta, like literally just think about it like this. And this is gonna help you if you're in crypto and it's like whatever with you right now and you're trying to figure that out. You know, I'm looking at the markets like all the time. If it's bullish, like if it's super bullish and I'm in a trade, I'll add more to the position. If it's super bearish and I'm like, oh crap, like, the daily just closed, and on the daily close, it was bearish. And I think to myself, like, how bearish is that? Oh, that's like 20% bearish. Okay, I'm gonna take 20% away from my trade. It doesn't matter if we hit the targets or not, because at the end of the day, like, I've been in these markets. I don't know how long you guys been in these markets, but they don't always hit their targets. Trust me. Like, and we've seen that recently. So if you're newer to crypto, like, that's been happening a lot more recently than it should. But just in general, we don't always hit our targets. So, you know, that seems to be the best strategy. That's the most logical strategy. You always hear from everybody else, no, stay in the trade, wait till the target plays out. That's not always the case. Take it off the table. It's yours. And especially, like, why hold out, for that extra, money when you're statistically, like, it just doesn't make any logical sense. Like, you holding on to that bad trade, or you holding on when there's bearish factors, like, and I'm not saying to like tell anybody to take out of like a long position that they're in right now or something like that. I have no idea what kind of leverage you guys are using. I have no idea what kind of entries you're using. I'm not like passive aggressively saying like anything like that, or like trying to make you think any type of way. Like, I'm just giving you the straight facts and telling you, like, listen, like, if there's something bearish or whatever and you're in profits, you know a lot of professional traders, as soon as their trade goes in profits, they'll set their stop loss right above their entry price if it's a long, so that they don't get liquidated. It just depends. But the more conservative you are, being conservative pays dividends in these markets. They're very volatile. Alright, so, because that's just more money in your pocket that you're guaranteed. Alright, 20,830 is about the target we're looking for this consolidation pattern. I think off the bigger consolidation pattern that we were looking at, that I really brought up on the chart, because look at, we found support on this line right here, and I was kind of smiling a lot. I was like, not as many channels were covering it, and I told you guys, I said, like, listen guys, like, this is the consolidation pattern. Yes, this is the consolidation pattern right here. But I said, like, listen, like, if it doesn't break these trend lines right here, it's not going anywhere. And so we kind of played into that idea, and as soon as this broke, it was game over, and that's exactly why those trend lines were drawn there. It wasn't textbook. It wasn't a 3-point. Maybe it was a 3-point touch. I don't remember. I don't think it was, though. I think it was a 2. But those 2, I mean, that was important. As soon as those broke, we dumped, and we found support on that line. Alright, let's measure the other one. So let me just zoom in. I mean, you guys know I drew this thing so long ago. I want to make sure I'm getting the right touch points because you measure from where your start touch points are. There any touch points up here? I mean, it looks like it. So yeah, this is bullish in the short term, a little bearish right here, this idea. But again, I mean, we'll see. It's correcting. Oh yeah, we were talking about this earlier. This was best case scenario that played out. So yeah, next thing we want to see is we want to see like this wave start to come down. Like as soon as it can hit like this level right here, that's really when this whole thing is going to turn into. This is essentially going to be an anchor wave, and this is essentially going to be a trigger wave if that happens. It's going to be very bullish in the 1 hour, but we don't have that yet, so we're just looking. We're just waiting. We're just watching. That's all you can do in these markets right now. We don't have enough information on the charts to figure out, where we're going. Okay, so it doesn't look like, yeah. It looks like this is the touch point. Wow. I mean, that could be the move right there. Don't take it though. Don't take it. Like I'm not gonna like be a snake and like just pretend like, oh well, that's the move right there, because at the end of the day, like remember the 4 hour, remember this, remember, like at the end of the day, like that could be a move. Like that might be like why we're consolidating right here. But like at the end of the day, guys, yeah, this is bearish or this is bullish right here. Yeah, this is bullish right here. But check this out. I mean, take this from right here. That's not it. Take this from right here. That's not it. Take this from right here. That's not it. So until this line right here, this right here, until this wave can get to like right here, this is really where we would start to look at ideas on the lower time frame, see how bullish it looks, see how the higher time frames are correcting, and then at that point it just becomes, what's your tolerance, like when are you trying to get in. Alright. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking bad. We still want to negate the money flow is just not there. Like at the end of the day, like really, like so undervalued and like underrated. Like the momentum waves, yeah, that's it. But like we need to see this clip more down. We need to see this money. I promise you guys. I promise you guys. Even though we just hit this, I promise you guys that this is not it right here. Right here, we have to have this come down more. I know it's starting to look like, but this clip right here, you know, and it's just like the fact that we've been looking at this chart for so long that we can just tell like immediately this is not it. Because yes, we are, starting to look better on this, but the simple fact that in this time period right here, essentially we had, this clip right here. We had this clip right here, and that's not good. In that same time period, we got darker on the blue wave, which is really good. So it's basically like one for another. Like basically we had a good indicator right here, and then basically we had a bad indicator right here in that time frame. And so basically they even each other out, and like that's just going to be the case with technical analysis. Like that's just going to happen. Like this is also good right here though, so this is flipping more towards the better side. And then let's look at the RSI modified on our size looking good. All right. It's still not it. I'm telling you guys. Like, don't risk it. Don't risk it. Don't risk the biscuit. All right. I'm telling you guys what we need to see, and we can just go down to the higher time or the lower time frames to figure that out. Let me see if there's any questions. Let me make sure that the chat or the stream's running properly. Where should I spend my 2K the night while I sleep? Tell me the move. What's the next hour look like? All right. So I'm not a financial advisor, such and such, but you know the drill. But um I'm saying like how long are you going to be sleeping for is really the good question. How long are you going to be sleeping for? That's what I want to know. And there's a lot of ways to approach this, but saying spend, 1200, obviously I like Ethereum. Ethereum's looking really good. Ethereum is correlated with Bitcoin. So like essentially like I'm covering Bitcoin because Bitcoin moves Ethereum and Bitcoin moves Bitcoin dominance. I'm gonna plug my laptop in, so okay. But Bitcoin's the big dog. That's why I play with Bitcoin. But essentially like I just took out a big loan. I'm just very confident in the market. I spent a lot of time in the markets. Like, I had to take out loans when I got into real estate. Like, when I was little getting into real estate, I didn't have, 400,000. I had to take out loans. And if you're leveraged, you know what you're doing. You get a good price on your asset. Like in real estate, it's all about just knowing, how much the house is worth and getting a good deal on it. But that's like 90% of the battle. Like, just let me tell you. But so if you're going for if you're like, where should I spend my 1200? I got 1200. Where do I put it tonight? Listen, patience is key, but a lot of what these guys are saying is like the 21 EMA. A lot of these guys are saying so put in like is your 1200 is that in cash, and are you trying to buy or are you trying to leverage? So leverage would be like if you're trying to borrow money to trade. Are you trying to borrow money to trade on an isolated margin, or are you just trying to put your 1200 into it? If you're trying to put your 1200 into it, let's see what Cardano is doing today. But I can tell you right now, like I have 5,000 coming in that I'm not going to trade with, just because um, I got like a lot of stuff I got to work on. But um, and I already have so much money in my trading account, I don't need it. I would rather just, I have 5,000 coming in tomorrow, and what I'm doing with my 5,000, like I'll just tell you what I'm doing. I'm spending half of it on Ethereum, cost based averaging into Ethereum. Ethereum's looking great right now. The reason Ethereum's down right now is because Bitcoin's down. They're correlated. And then I would put a percentage in Bitcoin because I don't want to I don't want to freaking write a check for 5,000, I want to make my $5,000 check, keep it, and then take out another like loan or whatever. So, like I'm just getting contracted, so like I'm just gonna get that 5,000. Like, don't take out money that you don't have to. So like, but I mean, you can if you really know what you're doing and you really wanna, but don't get Dave Ramsey'd where you freaking lose everything, getting isolated, and then you go and you write a bunch of books on how everybody should be cautious about their spending because Mr. Dave Ramsey doesn't know how to leverage real estate. Listen, Dave. All right, so does that make sense? I'm putting half in Ethereum. I'm cost base averaging in, 10,000 and below. That looks great to me, but I'm really shooting for like 9,000. But obviously, I'm just gonna cost base average in. But be putting a little bit in Bitcoin. Basically, just looking at the markets. Targets are between 22,000 and 27,000 K, or 27,000. So essentially what I'm looking for is I'm cost base averaging into Ethereum, I'm cost base averaging into Bitcoin based off of their support levels. I want to get a good deal, I want to get a good buy, and essentially like we're looking at market high for the real bottom. But as far as like the TA can tell us, we're looking at that, to set limit orders. So getting good limit orders, I don't really want to tell you what to do. Like, I'd feel so bad if you lost money. And really, the only way you're going to lose money in these markets, like, especially with what Bitcoin's doing right now, Bitcoin's going to like 51K. And, like, and if you don't think so, like, you just got to look into the fundamentals of what's going on in these markets. Like, BlackRock, like, there's a lot of good fundamentals that have been building up since 11K when I was telling people put their life savings in at 11K. There's always risk to reward in Bitcoin. I was in at 3K, I was in at 7K, I was in all the time. But 11K was a really good buying opportunity. When we dipped at 30K, that was a really good opportunity. And this dip should be another good opportunity, good risk to reward ratio. Because whenever you're putting your money into an asset, there's always going to be risk. And essentially, they're saying Bitcoin's a high risk, and so you get a good return. Cash on Robinhood. No, dude, don't do Robinhood. I mean, if you're not really into Bitcoin, like if you're like, Bitcoin, whatever, don't do Robinhood. Not my keys, not my crypto. Like, I wouldn't say that. Like if you're not gonna be involved with crypto and like you're just like, whatever, like I'm not really involved with it, then you can do Robinhood, but you sound younger, especially if you're doing Robinhood. Like if you're gonna do Robinhood, do PayPal. Like, to be honest with you, if you're gonna do Robinhood, do PayPal. And if you're gonna get more into it, but you just want to get started in it and you want to actually own your keys, which you should, um, Coinbase. Coinbase has pretty high fees. Now, if you really want to get into it, you want to get good fees. You don't want to be paying, like, $100. You want to get the best deal for that $100 where you're not paying in fees. Binance US. Get Binance US or something like that. Um, but Robinhood, like, that's not it. I have a Robinhood account. I don't have any money into it. But essentially, what you would do, let me pull up the app. I don't even remember the password for this dang thing. I used to be in stocks and I was using all different brokerage accounts for different things. It's like different companies, they got different reasons to. So I'm gonna pull up Robinhood and show you like what. Okay, so you would go to buy. You'd go to your buy right here. Let me see if the brightness is up. So you would go to your buy. You go to your buy section right here. You would go to, let me turn this note off. All right, so you would go to limit buy. So in the corner, you would go to limit buy. And essentially, you would type in a number around between like 22 to 27, basically. And what I used to do, especially, I bought a little bit of Bitcoin in Robinhood. Let me see some of my Bitcoin purchases in Robinhood. They were probably like low. Like, you guys are like gonna be like, this kid was buying at 3,000. It was crazy. But I don't want to pull it up. But like I'll just pull it up a little bit just so you guys know what's up. But um, what I would do is I would go like 22, like I would put in like a little bit at like 22, like around that area. I can pull up VPR support. I was trying to do that earlier. I can do that for you. but a little bit at like 22, a little bit at 23, a little bit at 24, a little bit at 25, a little bit at 26, a little bit at 26.6. Like, cost based average, and basically like go over the moving averages, weight whatever you want to weight, like, like the 21 or whatever is around 21,000, 22,000 area. So just weight whatever you think, like, nobody knows. We have support and resistance at all those areas. So basically, what we're looking at as analysts is we want to look at the areas that we're going to. So, like, let's say we go down to 27, and basically what we're looking for, and really all we can do is see how the price action interacts with that support area. So if we go down, and we go down to like 27.6, like essentially, and we have support there from an MA, like a moving average or a Fibonacci retracement or whatever, or a previous resistance flip support, something like that. Essentially, what we're looking for is just how the market's going to be interacting with that level. And if we find support at that level and bounce up, that could potentially be a reversal. And we would be looking at it on software like this to really figure out, if that's really it or not. But if it sounds like you're not leveraged, it sounds like you're on Robinhood, and so you don't need like the perfect, like in my opinion. And again, like this is just a crypto enthusiast. I'm not a financial advisor, but I've been in these markets for a long time. I've called the price action, and I think we're going to 50,000. A lot of experts in the space think we're going to 50,000 like in the next month. And I would like in the next month or two. So, you don't need to nickel and dime a perfect entry. I think that, from your perspective, I mean, you can tell me if it's different, but like, sweating a few $100s on the perfect entry is not going to mean a lot. You just want to hit the bottom, or relatively close to the bottom. Because once we wick back up to like, that $52,000 area, if you got in at, 33,000, whatever, or whatever it is, those few $1,000 move like positions, like it's not going to mean that much, especially when you're not on leverage. I hope that makes sense. But so like around 27 to 22, I would do like a limit order. That kind of seems to be the sentiment. Could we go lower than that? We could. So always keep a little bit of cash in reserves, maybe 10% if you're extremely confident. If you're like, no, like I know that it's going to 22,000. Okay, I would recommend like a little bit of like cash reserves like on the side, so you can cost base average down your position that you're in. If we do go lower than 22. I hope that answers like your question to a degree. Like if you need any more clarification, like I just put all my money from my summer job in at 13,000. Dang, nice. That's pretty solid. Yeah, like around like when Bitcoin was like 13,000 or 13,000. That's solid for sure. Yeah, that was a decent time to get in. I have a freaking on social media. I have a bigger following on like Snapchat and some of the other media platforms, and then I'm new to YouTube. I was telling everybody, I said put your life savings in at 11.55, because like, back then like Fidelity was getting involved. They put out a 19-page paper, like there was. So I was like, yeah, get in. And people thought I was crazy. But so if you got in at 13 and you're still holding, like I bought really heavy at 11. Like I don't just say things, like I actually go into what I do and what I say. Um if that's the case, you probably know the sentiment. Like you've probably been in the markets enough to know the sentiment. So 2022 to 27 cost base average in a position. You know the drill. Um could go lower. We could bounce, you know. And as you know, most likely, you go down, as soon as we break these lower resistance level, we're just going to wick back up for a second, because all these limit orders are going to fly in. And really, all the limit orders are going to be stacked. I mean, you can look for whale clusters, but essentially, all these are going to be stacked around like 26. Like, once we really start hitting those resistance levels, like when we hit like 26, 6, like bounce up, and then maybe the shorts push us back down temporarily, but we're not going to crash in a straight line. Like there's just too many people trying to get in on this dip, and people don't get it because they're not looking at my market cipher right now. Like you guys right now, you guys are getting a real education. You guys are, we know what's going on right now. Like right now is looking decent on the 30 minute is looking decent, but for the last hour or two it was like a no go, no touch based off a cipher. So like, we could definitely still head lower. And like I said like before, if this 27,000 whatever 27,600 area gets breached, like we're dropping, we're going down, we're fulfilling that double top most likely. And so if that's going to be the sentiment, a lot of people in this space like they just don't get it. Like they don't spend enough time researching, they don't spend enough time figuring out this market. And they think, oh, healthy correction, like it's just gonna wick, and then like right here's we're just gonna bounce back up tomorrow. Hey, we could. We're not there yet though. I'm telling you right now. I'm looking at the indicators right now with you. We're not there yet. So yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like don't. I mean, I wouldn't buy this dip right here. I wouldn't. I mean, it's looking decent, but I mean, this was looking a little decent too. And what happened? We went down. Don't get this fractal. I mean, at the end of the day, we're still on the 30 minute. We're not on the daily. If this was on the daily and this was curved down a little bit more, whew, I'd be like, guys, listen, we're looking good. This could potentially, but we're not there yet. Ask me questions about anything, but yeah, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, more Ethereum, just in the loan that I'm taking out. Um, I just bought a little at 30,500. Don't FOMO. Should I buy again now? Well, just don't sell. Just don't sell. I'm not a financial advisor, but just don't sell till we hit like at least 50. I'm not selling at 50. I'm selling a lot of people don't talk about their cash out strategy really. And really it's like what cash out strategy? Like what are you going to put your money into? Bitcoin's, an anti-inflationary hedge. Um, let's see, where'd you buy in at? Sheesh, dude. I mean, like, if you didn't know, that's fine, but just sub to the channel, we'll get you straight. Um, Sub to the channel, we'll get you straight. 35, that's just not it right there. Don't buy a little more now. I mean, you can, but like you're just FOMOing. Like the reason I have my market cipher right now, the reason I have all these lines pulled up, the reason, I'm doing all this is so that we get the best entry prices on this channel. And right now, like it's looking decent, but you really want to be lined up with the technicals. When market cipher says buy and market cipher says there's a bottom, like just take that and don't FOMO, because at the end of the day, like I tell people this and it's facts. Like at the end of the day, we're not just gonna fall off a cliff on these charts. It's just not possible, because as soon as we go down, we're gonna get bought back up by limit buys at least, and then continue to head lower if that is the sentiment. Same token, we're not just gonna blast off up. Like there's so much shorts, there's so much fear in the market, there's so much potential healthy correction, but we haven't seen anything substantial to move these markets up yet. You know what I'm saying? So like, fear, FOMO, FUD, um, don't listen to it. That's just what it sounds like to me. Like, I mean, if you want to like, I mean, your cost base averaged in at 11. Like, you're in at 11K. Like, if anything, maybe you could do Ethereum, but Ethereum's gonna move down right with Bitcoin. I mean, to me, it just seems like a little bit of like FOMO, like your fear of missing out. Like you're like, oh, but what if it bounces? It looks like it's bouncing. I can't tell you. Nobody has a crystal ball, but we're not there yet on the charts. Like, yes, this is a green dot right here, but like, let's go to the 4 hour. I look at the 4 hour. Let me see if you have any questions. But um. I just bought a little. Oh, should I buy again now? Yeah. Nah. I mean, like, not financial advice, but I mean, don't FOMO. Don't FOMO, son. Don't do it. Don't let them do it to you. Don't get in this long squeeze. We've seen this. We've seen it before. We're not. We don't do that crap on this channel. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. That's bearish right there. That's bearish right there. So when we go to the 4 hour, we don't have any confirmations on the 4 hour. You know what I'm saying? Look at the money flow right here. So this is some nice green, this is some nice green, and then we're trending downwards, and we're starting to trend back upwards. Starting, but we don't have any clear indications. And as soon as this starts to round off, that verifies this oscillator, and we are bearish. This just confirms this bearish right here. So look at, like in the immediate short term, yeah, we might be looking a little cute. We might be looking a little decent. But this right here, that's bearish. What is this saying? Yeah, yeah, yeah. In the next 30 minutes or whatever, yeah, it might do decent. Input, the next 4 hours, if this ends up playing out, you know what I'm saying? So until this sentiment changes on the higher time frames, don't get faked out. Don't get faked out. Don't get a long squeeze. Um, do we have any time frame estimates as to when this will retest 30K? Okay, so like a retest at 30K would be interesting for sure. So like essentially like we would have to find like support or whatever, bounce, and then retest 30K as potential. It would be resistance, and then we would have to test it, yeah, for resistance or support. Uh, I mean, like that's kind of the argument of like whether we're gonna go up or down. And on the short time frames, it looks like we're correcting and it looks like we're doing good. But like I'm saying, like indicating the technicals, like on the lower time frames, it looks like we're just like slowly just like consolidating, doing a long squeeze like in the short time frames. And on the higher time frames, we're still bearish. So we should continue to maybe go up. I don't think enough. Well, where is 30K? Did we already go through 30K? 30K was more so like we already went through 30K. So, I don't know if you mean like a specific, there was some stuff at 30K. It was like support and resistance. It wasn't like, and it was also a neckline. So, let's see. Let's go. So I'll draw the neckline for you guys and figure this out with you. Let's see, 1 hour. We'll draw this right here, not right here, yeah, and then horizontal line, and then we'll test this bearish. So essentially, like it just depends. This is probably a decent neckline, and it looks like, as of right now, this is on the 2 hour. I mean, so we do have confirmation. So essentially what we have right here is the neckline for the double top, head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it. So you come down, we broke above it, so we broke this. So like this was support, we broke the support, we broke the resistance. So um, let me get VPR because really VPR is really what we need right now. Um, but yeah, we tested and broke 30. That area. Unless there's like a specific area you were talking about. I'm thinking you're talking about like the neckline of the head and shoulders formation that like we would potentially like retest it for a bearish scenario, and like that's bullish that we broke through that essentially. Um, Again, like I said, like it's just like on the higher time frames, it's just not there. Um, so we'll see. I just want to prepare everybody for like like if we drop it more because it's still in the books to drop more because like yeah like we did wick, but then at the same time it's like, oh well, I guess I'll look at candlesticks in a second, but I guess we did kind of negate this idea. I've been focusing more on market cipher than these candlesticks. Okay, yeah, I mean my main concern was these longer candlesticks right here, because obviously that's bearish, like bearish, bearish, and then obviously this is starting to be bullish. So like to find a correction, like what we would do, ask me questions, but I'm just gonna continue looking into your question a little bit. So right here, what I would do is I would pull up the reverse Fibonacci, the trend-based Fibonacci to see, because like essentially like as far as I'm concerned, besides that, like obviously we could have something right here that we could be potentially fighting right here, but essentially what we would look for, we would go to trend-based Fibonacci. So this is the inverse of the Fibonacci tool because this is basically from the shorter's perspective, like, like usually when you go up and then, so where would we want to take that? We could take that from a lot different. It's more of an art than everything is what the textbook will tell you. Alright, so yeah, we'll do this. This should give us a good idea. And then I'll just readjust that bottom. Yes. Okay. And then just readjust the bottom. Alright. Alright, so if you're familiar with Fibonacci, this is the inverse of Fibonacci. Great to use. A lot of YouTubers use it. They just don't call it like the trend-based fib. They just call it the fib. But I want you guys to be familiar with this because it's not the same as the regular Fibonacci retracement. A lot of technical analysis is inverse correlated. So anything that, can happen on the bullish scenario can also happen on the bearish scenario. So this is basically, when a market tops and then you want to see if it's going to retrace a little bit, consolidate, and then move higher, you would use Fibonacci retracement. Basically, we have the tank, and we want to see is it going to continue tanking, or is it going to take a little bit of a breather and then continue lower, or is it going to, so we're looking at the fib right now. And in the fib, we have a test of this 618 line, which is, the golden pocket, and essentially, we're consolidating in the golden pocket right now. So we'll keep an eye on that as far as, a potential, like move, like it's, so like textbook, like really you want to look at the Fibonacci. This is kind of like the accumulation area. And then basically if it breaks this is basically saying, okay, we can start looking at a possible reversal type scenario. It looks like it hit it as resistance currently. We just don't have enough information. At the same time, this can be a lead, like, like, oh, well, we have enough momentum to push up to this level. So, I mean, we just hit a higher high in the local. So, really what we're looking for is can we hit this, break above this resistance, and then textbook is going to tell you we want to hit this level, and then once we hit this level, that's an uptrend. Like, we've pretty much reversed the trend. All right. Ask me questions as I go over this. Shoot, we don't really have any questions. Ask me questions, guys. Hopefully the stream's doing good. Like it's doing okay. It says warning. I changed the graphics to be lower so that I could stream because I was having problems with my stream earlier and I'm just over it. Like I want to give you guys the content and like I'm a newer streamer so like on YouTube. So like I'm trying to work out all the bugs. And I'm doing my best to like and we're doing like good progress. So we've had a good stream tonight. No bugs. All right. But just ask me questions, guys. If it's about like, if you're like, do you know about Cardano? Yeah, I know about Cardano. You know about Chainlink? Yeah, I know about Chain. Like, and then I have some questions like, no shade at all, but like, if it's like number 400 and whatever on CoinMarketCap, I might not know it if it's not popular. But like like around the top 100 coins, yeah, ask me about them. I'm gonna have an opinion on them. I'm gonna tell you about like if you want to know the real story behind XRP or, because everybody always gets it twisted whenever they enter in. Like it's always the same thing. They think they know, and then they're like, "Oh, XRP employees are dumping their tokens," and then it's like, "Oh, well, it's because they left." Oh, but that doesn't really matter because once so like people live, they learn, and I've been in these markets, so like if you have any questions about any cryptos, like right now, really Ethereum seems to be the token And like, I haven't really heard a lot of YouTubers comment, but like the reason it's down is because it's so correlated with Bitcoin. And as soon as Bitcoin hits a bottom, get some Ethereum, and it is just going to lap Bitcoin. I mean, that's the sentiment. And I mean, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Like, I got 5K coming in. I'm gonna hit that bottom. I'm gonna buy some Ethereum. I'm gonna cost base average into that position, like I was telling you guys. Buy a little bit of Bitcoin. We'll see. When I'm buying. So here's the thing. Like when it comes to buying and trading, because I do both. And my favorite thing is to swing trade, but I think on the channel I'm gonna start doing like 10x leverage, and really setting up clean trades for you guys, because that's what I was trained to do but it's just stressful, and so I haven't been doing that recently. I'd rather just make my money swing trading. I make plenty of money swing trading, so like to me, like it's just not worth it to like stress out over like a 10x. But like on the channel, like if we're doing it on the channel, yeah, I'll do 10x with you. I'll set it up. We'll get some killer trades in. We'll make a lot of money together. So that's kind of the sentiment. I kind of want to be like the real YouTuber, like the guy that's actually like making the money with you guys. I've made a lot of money in these markets, and I basically just want to be like, listen, like there's actual people in here that can just make money, doing this stuff. And I want to show you guys that it's possible, because there's so many fake people just like on YouTube and stuff, and it's just ridiculous. So we had that Ethereum trade that we had the other night. We got in at like 11, sold it like 1350. That was one of the trades we made. I mean, that was a trade, and we called Cardano. We called the Polkadot top. Then we called the Polkadot bottom. So we've made some good calls, like, but like I'll tell you guys like good stuff. Like, and right now I'm saying like the move is to look for Ethereum's bottom. Like that's the move. We just haven't found it yet because we're looking at Bitcoin. Like they're correlated. So got a green. Then we got this red. That's throwing me off. This is on the 2 hour. Then we got this green, and we got this nice blue. And this blue basically is showing like a bottom. But again, this is on the lower time frames. And really what we want to see is we want to see these blue momentum waves. We want to see a lower one. So this is called an anchor wave. And we want to see this anchor wave right here look nice and big. Then we want to get a small momentum wave, and that's a trigger wave. And then we want it going down like this. And if we get that, if we get a high right here, or a low right here, and a lower low on a trigger wave, that's looking good. But we just don't have that yet. We have the inverse right here, that I drew right here. So it's like, I get it, guys. You look at the candlesticks, but like, or you look at the green dot and you're like, let's go. But guys, we're on the 2 hour, and the overall sentiment isn't. This is more so a long squeeze than anything. And really, what we're doing is we're looking at this fib level right here. So, we're just gonna keep an eye out on that. Ask me questions, guys. But right now, like, and here's the thing, like, I was waiting kind of till altcoin season was over, because like I want to push you guys in the right directions, and I think that's what I was doing when I was telling you guys like VeChain, like we called VeChain, that was solid. Now I think VeChain, like, don't buy it. I was like, oh, VeChain's underrated, go get it. It popped off, we called it. That's cool. I told you guys, like, I love Polkadot. Like, there's no competition with Polkadot when you think about it. Like, it's not trying to be like Ethereum or Cardano, but like, so like there's a lot, like, in the team behind Polkadot's really good. One of the creators of Ethereum, like, really good fundamentals behind Polkadot, but it's too overvalued, is what I said back then. It was. We called the top, we called the bottom. I told you guys about Chainlink. Chainlink, yeah, I said it's overappraised right now. It was. It continued to tank. I told you guys about Cardano. I'm telling you guys about these coins because these are some of the best coins that cryptocurrency has to offer. I don't want you guys looking for these crap coins, these low market cap coins. Like, it's not low cap season. In altcoin season, it always goes Bitcoin, some crap like sometimes EOS pumps. I'm not a big fan of EOS. Sometimes Litecoin pumps. I don't like Litecoin. A lot of people don't like Litecoin, but it does pump. Like, it does have, and I think that was like BitBoy's sentiment, and I think the same thing. But like, I don't want to get stuck holding something that I don't like. want to hold for the long term. So, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to get left with a bag. You want to get a good fundamental project like Cardano. So if you get like a little bit of a top on like something like Cardano, and I'm not saying go buy Cardano today. Like I said, like I'll tell you guys, like, oh, this coin's undervalued. Oh, this coin's undervalued. We'll call them on the channel, and we have. Okay. But so like you just don't want to get stuck holding the bag. You don't want to get like coin market cap, 1,100 and whatever, and it's worthless, and that you got rug pulled or you got scammed or even on like a 200 coin where you're not getting scammed and they have a legit team and whatever. Like, some whale comes along and dumps the bag on you, and you're left with like some crap coin, like, then there goes all your money. Like, I don't want that to happen to you guys. I want you guys to get into coins that have long-term potential, so the small chance, like, we haven't had it on the channel yet, but like on the small chance that like I make a wrong call, like on something, like I appraise something and it's wrong, you're not left holding a crap coin. You can hold that coin, and over the duration on the bull market, you're still going to get a massively good return because you're dealing with one of the best cryptos in the space. You know what I'm saying? So right now that's Cardano. You say Adam? Did you say Adam? No, you said bottom. Let's see. How do we find a bottom? Yeah, so how we find a bottom is like Fibonacci retracements. This is kind of looking for like a correction, but this is also how we could find a bottom. Now, what we would do is we would move the Fibonacci retracements. This is like a micro reading. So right now we're just looking at this initial, like, I guess if you're doing Elliott wave theory, like this initial pulse wave. But so like what you would do is you would look at the Fibonacci retracement like this. So you would go from, we have the swing low, which is right here, and then you would take the swing high, which is this point right here, and you want to do the macro. The more macro you do, the better the indication is going to be. So you take like this right here, and this is an inverse Fibonacci retracement, and essentially you would look and you would say, okay, based off of, let's make sure this is right. There we go. So based off these numbers right here, we have a Fibonacci retracement resistance area at 23,700 and 4 if you want to get specific. And the nice thing about this is it's not a moving average. So like when I say 23,704, I mean 23,000 on a moving average. We can pull up some moving averages for you. And these are where you would potentially find support levels. It looks like on the 2 hour they're all up. So we're going to have to go to, is this just one? Let's see. Oh, this one has a lot. Yeah, they're all up on the lower time frames. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the higher time frames. We're going to find some potential support areas. Again, the higher the time frame and the higher the EMA or the MA or the SMA, moving average, exponentially weighted moving average, or simple day moving average, this is where you're going to find support levels potentially. So we've already went over it, and if you're just asking like in general how you find them, you're finding them from Fibonacci's, you're finding them from like a Forex perspective, but like it's 100% crypto, resistance, flip, support. I don't really have any examples of that in the short term to show you, but essentially, like, if we have this, like, if this is the price action and we're using this as support and we keep bouncing off of this support level, we end up dropping down below this area, and then we start hitting that exact same area as resistance and then move lower. So that's we had originally support, comes down, it's now resistance, and that line area essentially where you're getting that support and resistance, that's going to be you can put like one of these horizontal lines right there, measure it out, and essentially, like, if you're looking for a drop, then you could catch a drop at one of those support flipped resistance or resistance flipped support areas. Simple day moving average, Fibonacci, and where a lot of consolidation happens. So like some VPR support. I've been trying to pull up the VPR support. I gotta type it into TradingView. Um, my indicators got deleted the other day, but essentially, you want to look at like, so like the daily chart is what you'd want to look at, maybe the weekly chart, find some of these potential moving averages. So like we went over this earlier, and like 22,000 to like 26,600 is a really good area. Just based off of like there's all these moving averages and stuff, and like specifically like 22,000. What was 22,000? 22,000 I believe was the 21 EMA. 26,600 was a measured move for doesn't matter how you measure it, it's the same thing. The giant head and shoulders or the double top, and so like but like if you want to know like the exact bottom, so like but those are all areas where we could potentially find support, and nobody in technical analysis can say anything different. Like that is how it is. But so how we find like the exact bottom, that's what we're looking for on Market Cipher right now. Like if you want the exact bottom, we can call it. We have the definitely the potential to call it, but we just don't have the information right now. That's what we're looking for right now, and that's using this indicator, which is like an industry standard. It's like $400 indicator, like on sale. I think it's 400 bucks. So like this indicator is no joke, and everybody in the space like loves it. My main concern right now, as far as the bottom goes, is we have some bearish trigger waves right here. So um, I want to see a wave clip like this, which it is starting to do, and then I want to see a smaller wave, and then basically smaller than this would be perfect. And if we then we can start looking into some bullish ideas, more so on the higher time frames. On the lower time frames, market cyber saying yeah, it's looking good, but on the higher time frames, I'm still cautious. I don't want to give you guys a false flag because we've seen a lot of false flags, especially on the lower time frames. If that makes sense. I hope that answered your question on like the bottom. Um, you need to get laid. Yes, that's funny. I just got a girlfriend actually, but that's funny. Um, let's see. Let's go to the lower. And so like we were talking about like on the 30 minute, like and again, if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll cover all your questions for you. I have no problem at all covering any question. And like if it's about like uh real estate, or if it's about stocks, or like I prefer crypto, but like I don't really like gold. Like a lot of people don't know, but gold's market was heavily manipulated. JP Morgan got like a $500,000 fine for manipulating the gold market, but that's been going on worldwide for a long time. They've been suppressing the price of gold. That's why Bitcoin, that's part of the reason Bitcoin is so huge. It's harder to manipulate because you have your own private keys, and like with gold, like everybody there's 10 people around the world that think they own their own piece of gold, when really it's because it's in a vault and they're lending it out to different people, and there's just so much market manipulation with gold historically. But gold, like Bitcoin, is basically digital gold. um, and so like I know gold, and I know the fundamentals behind gold and all that stuff. It's just not my favorite, just because of the historical manipulation, market manipulation, and then like silver and stuff. Yeah, so like I said, like I like this a lot, but like we have to remember the fractal ideas of like, don't like we have this right here. We have this exact thing right here. We have this is showing potential bottom, potential bottom. Then we have the green line. We're essentially showing, okay, this could be a bottom right here for sure. And we have this blue line, this dark blue line, and this is just looking really good. But we had that right here. And we didn't have the blue as much. This is looking a lot more promising. But we need to see that return to money if we really want to get this confirmed move. And then also, RSI is not looking good right here. So essentially, when it's blue is good. When it's purple, it's not as good. I don't know what your resolution on the screen is. I apologize. I'm just trying to get the stream not to lag. Um, but so we're starting to flip a little bit, and you can kind of see in the charts like visual representation. We're looking good, but we're not there. Don't think that I'm calling a bottom right now, because I'm not calling a bottom right now. We need to see this momentum, this money momentum wave. We need to see this start clipping back up. This is looking decent, but it's trending down. So I mean, and this is kind of an inverse, this is trending down, which it should be trending up. This is trending down, it should be trending up. Momentum waves are looking decent, but it's also curving, which, we want to see more. So we're not there, but this is potential. We're looking. We're trying to figure it out. We're working with all the information we have. I'll step down to a higher time frame. You're straight. Yeah. As snow cone. I don't know. Ask me like questions about crypto. Definitely can answer them. Let me know. So let's go to 15. 15 minute. Alrighty. So we're not looking too good on the 15. This actually just called the top. So we're basically confirming that top. Like I said, a lot of these indicators, they work inverse in and of themselves. So like, just like this was bullish, this is bearish. You have this blue wave, which is essentially calling a top, whereas on the bottom, this is essentially calling a bottom. This is like how I want you guys to think about this is basically, this indicator is basically saying potential top, potential top, potential top, and then this is saying, oh no, this blue. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see it better. But essentially, this blue, this darker blue, the fatter the blue, like the more it's definitive, it's saying no, this is a top. And that's sort of what we're getting right here. And then obviously we want this yellow, basically the price action, to go up, and that's not what we're seeing right now. And cash flow. So I mean, like I said this was like a long squeeze back here. It just looked like a long squeeze. And so I'm glad we didn't call anything, because like I'm not just gonna call things. Like we're gonna have all the facts in front of us. We're gonna look it down. We're gonna figure it out. And right now it's just not it. And like we can tell based off of the 4 hour. So what we want to do is we want to see some really good indications on the 5, the 15, and then work our way out to like the 1 hour and then the 4 hour. If we can start to get a really good chart on the 4 hour, then I'm gonna tell you guys, okay, guys, we're looking like we have the bottom. Guys, we look like we have, like, and when that is the case, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you when we have the bottom. We just don't have all the information. Nobody has all the information right now. We're just data collecting right now. And we just don't have the information to call the bottom because it's not there yet. Let me see if you have any questions. How does he get a girlfriend? I don't know. I just, you just meet girls or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to school, you go to work, you go to, they're just there. You guys kick it off. Let's see. Starting to trend down on the momentum for the money oscillator, so not looking good. I'm just gonna drive the point home. Let's see. So right here. Now. So, oh, that's why. Trend line. So right here, and then right here. So yeah, you can just kind of see that we're downtrending right here. on the, and then right here we're setting a low and then a higher low, so that's good. We have a low and then a higher low. It's looking decent right here. This is on the 5-minute. And then this is trending decent right here. So we just want to continue seeing this go up. We want to see this go up. Oh, okay, so let's see. Potentially looking like a bottom again, like literally, like whenever you see this white right here, it's kind of hard to see. There's yellow in it, but you just got the potential. You got the potential bottom, but nothing confirmed yet. We want to see, like I said, like you want to see that wick. You want to see that blue, dark blue wick in this area right here. You want to see a green candle, or you want to see a green circle right here, basically confirming that. And then on the 5-minute, you want to see a 5-minute close confirming that green. So this is what we're looking for right now. We want the best case scenario is we get this. Really, like what drives these markets is money, and it looks like it's going up ever so slightly as we're talking, which is good. This is like really the cake and butter right here. Like the fundamentals on the waves right now are not looking good on the 4-hour, but that can be corrected. Right now we're on the 5-minute. So like if 5 minutes starts looking really good, then 15 starts looking really good, and it just goes up to 4-hour. And then once we get to 4-hour, if that chart starts to correct, we might have found our bottom. All right, that's looking good. We're looking really good right here. We might start to see a green dot. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see this going up, this yellow going up. We want to see this green going up, and we want to see this blue basically start to really dig deep. We want to see blue expand. The thinner the blue, like the less certain we are that this is a bottom. And really, more than anything, it just looks like we're consolidating, because like you have this top right here, then you have the bottom, then you have the top, then you have the bottom. Yeah, so yeah. Let me see if you guys have any questions. Is she ugly? Dang. I don't think so. Let's see. So like essentially, like if we're looking at candlesticks, I know we're looking at the high Fibonacci right now, but essentially what we're looking for is we want to see like a bullish engulfing. Like we want to see something like this candlestick right here. We want to see it come up, close on the 5, and then potentially just work its way up. But I mean, at that point, we're just nitpicking the market. Like, ask me questions before I go. Like, basically, we're just consolidating right now. Based off the 4-hour, we're most likely going to potentially move back up, consolidate, and then drop lower. Is what I would have to say based off of just the 4-hour, looking at Market Cipher. And until we get different information to negate that idea, that seems to be the sentiment. I can pull up the fib one last time just to basically confirm like the tech side of that, and then obviously these are great indicators that we're using. But yeah, ask me questions if you have any questions. And like I said, like like somebody had 1,200 and they're like, what would you do? I'm cost-based averaging into Ethereum, and I'm cost-based averaging and trying to look for bottoms. And I'm looking at Bitcoin because Bitcoin's the like one of the lead indicators into what's going to happen in the Ethereum market. So let's see. 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour. All right. Let's see. This is just going to clutter the screen. And then we're going to turn A on, market cipher A. See if there's anything on the 4-hour. No, it's just showing a downtrend on the 4. We can pull it up on the lower time frames to give you guys an idea. And I'll break down all the different symbols because I know that could probably be relatively self-explanatory, but not, you know, 100% transparent, like obvious what's going on with those. Alright, so we're going to get the fib, pull out the fib, Fibonacci, the trend, and then like I said, guys, like it's just like around 22 to 20, 26 to like 27, that like area, so like 22,000 to like 27 is the area we're looking in right now. And basically we just want to see like what the sentiment on the market is before we really start understanding like exactly where it's going to go. Like I said, like, you know, like we could hit this level right here, bounce down, and then we're just going to totally negate a lot of these moving averages right here, which is what I'm expecting if we do get to those levels, if that makes sense. So like this is the local low right now, and so if we were to break that, essentially that would push us down lower, and that momentum pushing us down lower, I would expect to break this area right here, and then that breaks this lower low on the medium time frame, and that's just going to bring us down a lot lower and basically actualize out that head and shoulders if that is the case. I said, and I still stand by it, it's a extremely small chance that we like go in this area right here, basically that we don't wick below this area. Like as long, I guess at this point it is, on these smaller time frames, it's important to, let's see, horizontal line, it's important to look right here. Yeah, so essentially like we want to see this line hold. If it doesn't hold, you can definitely expect for this line to break, and if it does break, then we're heading down probably to that measured move. Alright, which is around 21,000. But we could see Fibonacci pull us up, maybe. No, that's not, this isn't the right, yeah, that's not the right fib. That's not the higher time frame fib. This is essentially what we're looking at right here when we look at the fib. This is the golden pocket. Now on TradingView, it's not gold, which I've talked about in the past, and like if you go on like Bybit and you go on other trading sites, they're all it's going to be like literally a golden pocket, but it's the 0.618 level right here to the 0.786 level, and essentially we're just consolidating right here. And to figure out like, are we going lower, are we just consolidating, and then are we going lower, or are we going higher, we basically want to break this level. So if we break in the immediate short term above 32,000 32,028, then essentially we're like, okay, there, like if we break above that area and hold above it, we're essentially saying, okay, that this might not just be like the longs or the shorts taking profits. Like we might actually, the sentiment might be actually that we're reversing. Whereas vice versa, if we were to break the 0.786 level at 30,523, essentially we're saying, okay, you know, the shorters took their profits, you know, the longs kind of got long squeezed, and now really what we're looking for is a move lower. Potentially, you know, these are just ideas, these are just probabilities, but this is the technical analysis. And on the 4-hour, yeah, it's just not looking good with the money indicator, the momentum, and, you know, obviously this is a bearish idea. So I think that's going to wrap it up. Just ask me any questions before I leave. If you have any, tell which book you are read. Like what book? Like go read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Go read Think and Grow Rich is a good one if you're becoming like an entrepreneur, like you want to set up a business. Think and Grow Rich is good. You know, if you want to be like understanding basic finances, read Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you want to like understand markets better, Market Wizard's a really good one. Just stuff like that. So, those are the kind of books that I would just recommend right off the top of my head, for finances. Like, if you actually had a business and you were like, oh, like marketing. What's that one book? I read like the best book on marketing at one time, but I forget what it's called. But yeah, start out with those. Rich Dad Poor Dad's an incredible book, and like the whole Rich Dad Poor Dad series, like that's a really good basic introduction to like finances and really understanding assets and liabilities. And he goes over things like balance sheets, which is really cool. He goes over like taxes and basically the different taxes. So like yeah, if you're looking for a book like that, start out with like Rich Dad Poor Dad if you're like trying to understand finances better. And then Market Wizard if you want to be a trader. It's risky. There's a lot to learn and like, but you can do it if you want. Um, it just really depends. If you got a lot of capital and you can be like conservative, like that's probably the best route to go. If you don't have a lot of capital, it might not make sense for you to like really go hard into trading. Maybe it just makes more sense to buy Bitcoin than like spending like 2 months trying to trade it when you could just buy it and get like a better return like working somewhere while sometimes people like spend like 2 months trying to trade and then it's like you could have just been working and made so much more money. So it just depends on if trading's for you, but like if you want to use it as like a long-term skill, whatever you want to do. But so yeah, those are the books I would recommend. um that's it. That's all for tonight, basically. I'll hop on tonight again, like if I'm about to go to bed and like I'm like, oh no, like the market's tanking or something like really big fundamental is changing. I'll try and help you guys out. Hop on, but ask me questions. Let me know. It was nice chatting with you guys. It was nice working with you guys. Stay sexy, and we're about to kill this position. So, this is gonna be my second, trade. First one was really profitable. Ethereum. She wants your money. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm a very conservative guy. Like, I don't drive a BMW. I drive an Infinity. Like I'm very conservative with my money. So I don't think so. But who knows? All right. I'm heading out. Have a good night, guys. Stay blessed. If you're in Bitcoin right now, you're stressing, and as long as you're not in a trade, just, hold. We're going up. I'm not your financial advisor, but we're going up. We're going to 51. You want to sell at 51? That's fine with me. At least you made some gains. At least you deleveraged from that asset. But at the end of the day, I mean, where are you going to put your money? Bitcoin's outperformed everything. It's outperformed real estate. It's outperformed stocks. It's outperformed everything, and it's going to continue to outperform everything. That's why I'm in these crypto markets, and that's why you should be too. You see some of these altcoins go up like 40, 50% in a day, but right now is not altcoin season to my knowledge. So right now we're really focusing on Bitcoin, looking at what Bitcoin's going to do. Big move to figure out what's going on with the crypto space in general. As far as my cash out plan, I bought heavy like 3,000, 7,000, 11,000. I've not sold a single Bitcoin. I'm looking for like at least 70,000. And at 70,000, around that area, I'm gonna be selling like 5% of my portfolio. And basically like when it hits like and like that's conservative because like JP Morgan they say $140,000 Bitcoin. You see Citibank they say like 100 and like 30 or 100 or like 200 or something. You see Fidelity thinks Bitcoin can hit 1 million. That's in the long term after multiple cycles. But you do want to get some money out of this cycle. But I'm keeping 50% of my capital because I'm like most of my money like my average position's in at like 10K. So it just depends on where you're at, where figure out the cycles, know like when the bottom of the bear market is going to be, and because like it's not gonna go up forever. It's gonna go up to like 100,000. It's gonna go up to 150,000 possibly. And when it hits those levels, people are gonna look down and be like, "Holy crap! What did we do? We just bought a digital coin for 150,000, and it's gonna tank." Everybody's gonna FOMO in. It's gonna go to like 70,000. People are gonna be like, oh, it's still worth 80. It's still gonna go up to at least 100. People are gonna buy in. Like, you know the drill if you've been here. So, what I do, and I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. This is the only reason I'm spending time talking about it. Like 70,000, um, 80,000, 85, 90, 95. I'm pulling out small amounts. Maybe like, between like 70 and 90, maybe 10%, and then maybe another 10% around 100. And then basically cost base averaging out to like, maybe cost base averaging out to like, getting those bigger numbers like 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. Like, you want to make sure like the possibility that we hit a million this cycle is next to impossible that we hit $1 million dollars for one Bitcoin in this cycle. It's next to impossible. But you don't want to sell yourself short. And like, let's say you missed the top. Like, imagine you missed the top in 2017. You're still up, 100% today. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like you're buying late. Right now you're buying early. You're buying at 30 whatever thousand, right? I'm not your financial advisor, but you're buying early. I'm a crypto enthusiast, like I guess you could say. Like I'm stopped leveraging my positions in at 50. At 50, I'm just holding. And then at like 70, at like 80, at like 90, I'm selling like a small percentage. But you gotta just think to yourself when you're selling, like, what are you gonna put your money into? You talk too much. You're my buddy now. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just trying to like break it down because like what's it called? I just don't see anybody like. So you got like Sunny Decree or whatever. He's like, bro, like he's like just cost base average out, but he's not giving you guys numbers. I'm gonna give you guys numbers. I'm gonna give you my plan because I think my plan is very realistic, and I spend a lot of time in these markets, and I just want to give you guys like like I haven't heard anybody say like sell this amount at this amount. Sell, I've heard a lot of people's top predictions, like as in like what they think the market top is going to be. And I think the best prediction is probably going to be BitBoy. Like, don't listen to the financial people. They were saying all the financial, like Fidelity, all, those guys were saying Bitcoin was a scam, a few years ago. So, like, I mean, like, they just got briefed on it. BitBoy's been in this for a long time. He's one of the biggest boys in the game. He's saying around 230,000 is about where he's saying it's going to top. And Crypto Jeb, which is really good too, he's saying about 230,000, like around that area. So like really what you want to do, like at least what I'm doing, is I want to cash out like probably closer to like 35-40% of my position by 230,000. Now they both say that those are conservative numbers. So they're being conservative with those numbers. I'm being conservative. I've always said Bitcoin will go to 100,000 by the end of the year. And I think that's extremely conservative. And I think that factors in both, the boomers that, don't really understand and their pessimism. And I think the Moon Boys that are like, it's going to 1 million, it's going to 10. Like, I feel like that's like a happy medium because, I think everybody's really going to be involved with these markets in the end. So, like cost base averaging out of the position, that's what I'm doing. So, like, I mean, you're looking for the Bitcoin TA. That's what we're at right now. That's what we're looking at, long term, short term, this dip. Are you autistic? Jeez. All right. I'm gonna head out for tonight. Have a good night, guys. We're killing these markets. We're gonna continue killing these markets. I can't wait to get my first profitable trade with you guys. Besides the Ethereum trade that we already made a bunch of money on. What was that? 3 years ago? I'm not entirely sure. It was like, or 3 days ago. 3 days ago, I think we made that Ethereum trade, and we absolutely murked it. So we didn't call the top. The top was 14. We got 13.50. So that was pretty decent. Good night. Yeah. Have a good one, guys. I'll be on later. Just Yeah, thanks, bro. It's like when I was going to school to be a doctor, like, don't say good luck. Like, I know what you're saying, but like, just study the markets, really study the markets, figure out what you're doing, and then you don't need luck, you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, like, put yourself in the best possible scenario, even though at the end of the day trading's not 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Good luck to you too. Um, I'm heading out. I'm gonna be on sub to the channel. I'm gonna be on all the time. I'll be on tomorrow. Be on a lot tomorrow. We're gonna call this bottom. That's what I'm here to do. Is call this bottom in the immediate short term. That's our goals on this channel. All right, guys.